Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we're going to be discussing the 1953 film How to Marry a Millionaire, starring Lauren Bacall, Betty Grable, and Marilyn Monroe. So this film is one of a bunch of films that Marilyn Monroe did. Excuse me, and Stewart Sciences. They came out in 1953, including, of course, Niagara and Jennifer Phil Blotz also came out the same year. But this film is one of the more iconic films because Marilyn Monroe plays a stereotypical dumb blonde role in this thing. But she is like one of three characters whose storylines intertwine in this film. How to Marry a Millionaire is about these three women, like I said, Marilyn Monroe, Betty Grable, and Lauren Bacall. They all play like three models who they were mildly successful in their own right, but they weren't making the big bucks. And Marilyn Monroe was to an extent, but not the other two characters. And they wanted to settle down and marry. But the problem is, instead of marrying for love, they want to marry a rich guy who would take care of all the financial problems. And so they pool the resources together, and they go out and Lauren Bacall rents out this big posh penthouse apartment in Manhattan, in New York City, and they go out to all the rich establishments, there's restaurants, the rich bars, trying to get into all the rich parties and all that stuff, and they all end up meeting somebody, but two of them, the Betty Grable and Marilyn Monroe characters, they end up marrying some bum, or dating a guy who is rich, but he is a piece of garbage. In Betty Grable's case, she ends up meeting this rich guy, but the problem was that he was already married. So it's his problem, or her problem. And Marilyn Monroe, she just marries a guy who with an eye patch over his eye. And the problem is with Marilyn Monroe's character, at least the running gag with her character, was that she's supposed to be so nearsighted and stuff, she can't see crap, and she wears her glasses like she's supposed to. People will not go out with her, so she intentionally doesn't use her glasses. And of course, there's one famous scene where she's supposed to meet the guy with the eye patch in Florida or something. She's on the plane, and she's reading a book upside down, and because she was wearing her glasses, so she's looking at the book upside down, and the guy who's sitting next to her says, "Hey, you're reading your book. Is there something wrong with your eyes because you're not reading your book upside down?" She goes, "Am I?" And she didn't even know. Big real funny bit there. That she's so blind. Blinded that she can't even know that her book, she's reading her book upside down, which is hysterical. And then she finds out that he has the same eye problems as she does, and the two of them just hit it off, and the two of them end up getting married. With Betty Grable's character, she goes out with the rich guy out into the woods, and she ends up developing the measles, and she ends up meeting and marrying this forest stranger. And all he does is look at trees all day long, and that's it. But she fell in love with the guy, even though he's not rich. She fell in love with him because he took care of her better. Well, in Betty Grable's case, or should I say Lauren Bacall's case storyline, she was supposed marry this really rich guy. He doesn't have the world's greatest personality, but she wanted to marry him because he was a rich jerk, but a rich jerk, and she didn't want to marry for love, but she wanted to marry for money. And meanwhile, she marries this other guy. Meanwhile, she meets this other guy, who is a bum, and it's a greasy, what you call back in the 1950s, what you call a greasy spoon diner. I mean, a cheap meal, and the food is not particularly that terrific, but it's cheap. It's cheap food. So she ends up meeting this young guy, and a guy that's younger than the guy that she was going to marry at the end of this film, or plans to marry at the end of the film, and she ends up falling in love with this guy, but wants to marry the other guy because he was rich, and then the rich guy knows that she's not in love with him. And he said, look, I want you to marry me for love, but not for my money. And he said, yeah, but if I marry you, I'd be well off financially. It would take care of all my problems, my financial problems. And he says, look, there's not a way to marry a guy. And the rich guy told her that. He said, there's not a way to marry a guy. You should marry someone out of love, but not out of money. And said, I know, and I could tell that you're in love with this other guy. So he I don't want you to marry out a mistake here. So the guy gives it, breaks it off, and then she ends up marrying the guy who she thinks is poor, but is actually worth about $300 million. And the very end of the film, you think all three women marry out three poor guys, and Lauren Bacall finds out, and Marilyn Monroe and Betty Grable all find out that Lauren Bacall actually did marry a rich guy, and all three of them end up fainting at the end of this film. And so the three husbands there, reading it as Greasy Spoon dying, okay, here's to our wives, gentlemen, and they bring a toast, and that's it. But the film itself, it is, a comedy of its time. You can watch the movie today in 2021. You can say maybe it's a little bit dated because of the style. And sorry, there's my phone going off. People keep messaging me all day long, and it's getting ridiculous. And they interrupted my flow here. And this movie could be dated, but there are actually women like that. Because every time when I meet a woman, and this is the God's honest truth, every time I meet a woman online, we actually exchange pictures, we exchange if you're married, single, kids, no kids, all that stuff, or what you do for a living. And the next thing the person says to me is, can you buy me a gift card? I mean, there are actual gold diggers out there, but I don't know how many of them look like the three women in this movie, though. That's the whole thing. So that's my review of the movie How to Marry a Millionaire. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can watch all my videos on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com. That's all WDY. And at c.com. That's the homepage of the reviewer. Chris Lee Moore, and wish you still message me. It's all WDY at c.com. Homepage of my reviewer, Chris Lee Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.